What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Guys, I'm really sorry it took me a while to get up a new video. I had to take care of a few things and I got a little bit backed up, but rest assured, the reviews are coming. But stay tuned though, because I got my official review coming up of No Man's Sky. I also have a review of the BioShock collection that's just been released on PS4, and the Fallout 4 DLC and the final DLC, which is Nuka World. Guys, I'm just trying to keep it real and authentic, and playing through these games, especially the BioShock collection, it's pretty time consuming. Even the DLC is pretty time consuming, and I gotta play through these goddamn things. But nevertheless, I will get them done. So today we have something a little bit special and something that I've been anticipating for a while now. And you know what? I gotta say, I'm really freaking impressed and so happy that this was sent to me. Today we get to review Gecco's 1/6 scale PVC statue of the character Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Let's take a closer look. Say what you will about the Phantom Pain, and to be honest with you, in many ways I will certainly agree with you. It was definitely the weakest entry in the series in terms of overall narrative, but you can't deny the cool character designs that came out of the Phantom Pain. And Quiet was definitely one of those cool characters. This enigmatic meta-human sniper definitely resonated with audiences. Square Enix also did a version of Quiet, and that figure sold out almost immediately, and I can't tell you how much that figure's going for right now on the secondary market. First of all, let me say that this head sculpt is absolutely amazing. Now, many of the characters in Metal Gear Solid 5 are fictional characters, so they don't have a human representative. But Quiet was the exception. She was actually played by an actress named Stephanie Jostin, and this looks absolutely amazing. They really captured her likeness here. The countenance in her face is perfect, the shading is done very well, especially the flesh tones, and they've used the right amount of lipstick. It looks very realistic. Also, I love the hair sculpt and the attention to detail with every single strand. They also did really well on the flesh tones of her body or her chest area. It's actually done really well and it gives it a sense of depth, and if you'll notice, they also gave the statue freckles, and you can find this throughout the entire statue. It's a nice detail and it really makes it seem more organic. I gotta give props to Gecco, this was really good. The sculpt in her straps are also very impressive and very intricate, and the finish that they did on it makes it look a lot more like it's fabric, especially in her bra area. If you'll notice, they really sculpted that knot very well. For me, the strength of a statue is definitely when they use a little bit of mixed media, particularly when they use different textures for certain parts of the piece. Now here, they did a really great job. If you'll notice, her gloves, which run all the way the length of her arm, are done in a high shine, and it looks a lot like black leather. It's just a nice touch to the detail, and it really enhances the overall piece. They also spared no expense in terms of detail on the flip side of the statue. Mostly with her pouches, they're a really great sculpt and the folds on them are really awesome. Especially the way they did the weathering on the pouches, so they look a little bit dirty and it's a nice effect. I also like the straps, especially her belt, and the straps that go all the way up into her backside, which looks really cool. And if you'll notice, you also see freckles on the back of the statue as well. Just a really nice touch. I also like the great contrast between certain colors on this piece. I love the way that they did her grenades. If you'll notice, they're very detailed. You can actually read warning labels on her grenades. They also did a really great job on her sheath. The color is done just right and it looks like actual leather. Great job. The sculpt on the holster of her sidearm was also done really well. I especially like the detail at the bottom where it looks a little bit grimy. It just adds another layer of realism. The sculpt on her gloves are also done really well, but I do have to say, and this is really disappointing, there are a few QC issues here, mainly when it comes to her glove connecting to her arm. It doesn't fit flush. It's actually a pretty big gap, and it's very jarring to look at. Now, I didn't want to keep messing with it because, again, I didn't want to break it, but just know that that is an issue. I will say this though, hands down, the thing that really stands out about this piece, aside from the actual statue itself, is definitely the sniper rifle. This is probably one of the most intricate pieces that I've ever seen. Aside from the Wolverine katana, this thing is amazing. It looks great. The detail is fantastic. I love the way they have the chrome pieces offset against the gunmetal and the silver pieces. It just looks exquisite, and I have to say, I wasn't expecting this level of detail. The sculpt looks fantastic, and I have to say, this thing is freaking long. It's actually half the length of the statue, if not more. I do have to warn you guys though, there is something about the way you have to install this piece. Now, I forced it a little bit, so be very careful. Now, a lot has been said about Quiet's costume and whether or not it's controversial. I actually think it was done really well. She looks fantastic, but I'm sure Anita Sarkeesian somewhere is bitching about how it's misogynistic. Regardless of the fact, they did a really great job on her leggings and it just looks amazing. Quiet is one of my favorite characters, hands down. I was also pleasantly surprised at the level of detail in her boots. The sculpt looks fantastic. I love the way that her foot is raised slightly, and I mean, just look at the detail on that. The grime, the grit, it looks like she's been out on the desert just waiting for her next target. It looks freaking fantastic. Great job. Now, another favorite part of this piece for me is definitely the base. Obviously, it has a very small footprint relative to the statue. A lot of detail here, and it looks like actual stone. I especially like those little cracks that you can find throughout the entire base. It's just really well done, and it harkens back to when we first met Quiet in that first boss battle with her. Man, that was pretty intense, and maybe one of the only memorable boss battles for me personally. But overall, this is a really great base. Fortunately, this piece comes with a number of accessories. Up first is her sidearm. Now, it's a great sculpt and it has a lot of detail, but what really impresses me is that wooden stock. Absolutely beautiful. Up next is Quiet's trusty knife, and the cool thing about this is that it has a lot of detail that I didn't actually expect. I especially like the tiger stripe camo and the little bit of blood at the end of the blade. Gruesome, yeah, but still really cool. Going back to the sniper rifle, it also has an accessory on its own. Now, I personally didn't put it on because I really didn't like it, as it extended the gun a little bit too much, but you do have that display option, and that comes in the form of a silencer. So guys, if you like the silencer appendage, you can certainly put it on as a display option. It's nice that they included it, really cool. Now, the other cool thing that they included in the packaging, and I kind of expected at this price point, is another head sculpt, and I have to say this thing looks exquisite. Definitely the head sculpt that I was looking for. Now, this is the phase when Quiet turns into her metahuman, or she uses her metahuman abilities, and man, just look at that. It really brings out her eyes, and that sounds really funny to say, but it's really true. Overall, it just adds another layer or another option in terms of displayability, and that's really what you want in a piece, again, especially at this price point. The last thing that Gecco included with this figure, and it's something that I find really interesting and actually pretty cool, is a still shot from the game, and this is definitely something that I wanted. When I like to display my pieces, I like to have some kind of record or something to go along with it so that people know or recognize where it's coming from. Not that they wouldn't already, but this is just nice to have. It's a great photo of Quiet, and on the reverse side it has a little bit of fun facts about her and her character. It's really cool. I like it. Guys, overall, this is a very solid piece, and I say that knowing about some of the quality control issues. But you know what? I don't think people are going to care too much about that. Given Quiet's popularity, I think people will still want to collect this. And you know what? Because of that, I can easily categorize this as a holy grail piece. Guys, please don't wait. If you really want this, jump on it now. Now, before I go, I just gotta thank the wonderful folks over at Gecco and Big Bad Toy Stores for sending this wonderful piece over for review. And if you're interested in getting this and other pieces, please visit Big Bad Toy Store at www.bigbadtoystore.com. Alright guys, so that's my official review on the 1/6 scale statue of Quiet. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.
Words that kill. Would you speak to me with your breath so still? It makes me believe in the borders. Let me suffer. to